And say hi to the digital audience. We got Kevin. What are you doing? Mason. And Bryce. Thank you guys. Alright, so I'm sure in almost every family we've all known the guy who's given the hobby of guitar playing a try, and inevitably it just ends up sitting in some closet or some dusty corner, never to get touched again. And today I'm going to show you how to revive it with a fresh new set of strings. So, here's the guitar we're working on. Here are the type of strings I've bought for it. Just anything nickel plated will do, as long as you got 6 strings. First things first, I want to show you a few key parts we're going to talk about. That's going to be referred to as the bridge. The strings will go through these little holes out the front before they're brought up to the top, where the tuning pegs are. These little pins, they attach the string at the top so you can tighten them. First step, we're going to remove the old strings. So you can take like a pair of wire cutters, maybe an old pair of nail clippers. Either way is going to work fine. You need to loosen the string. So if you hit it, turn it the way so that the sound gets deeper. And then you'd want it to be pretty easy to pull up. I can pull it like a few inches. That's perfect. Go ahead and loosen all the strings. And once you've got them all cut, find somewhere roughly in the middle of the whole length and cut your strings. You loosen them so that there's not so much tension you end up snapping an eye or something like that. Snapping an eye, that's not what I meant. Once you've got them cut and loose on one side, you can basically just grab the string right here. Let's see, grab a string, and if I push it through, you'll see it out the bottom. See it hanging out the bottom there? Do the same thing with all the strings and pull them all out. Okay, so I've removed all the strings from the bridge. They're still kind of wrapped around the tuning pegs. Mine are easy, you just pull them off. Sometimes you'll have to pull it through a little slot. Mine just come right off the top. Pretty easy. Next up, since we actually have the whole fretboard exposed and these little bits down here, they gather dust. Hard to see on the camera, but they're dusty. I'm going to take a little bit of advantage of that opportunity to clean that and get rid of all the nasty gunk. I'm using an oil, see if that'll focus. It's a cleaner, conditioner, protector. You can dab it on the cloth, a little microfiber cloth, or just put it directly on there. I'm gonna go direct. And now that that's clean, we're ready to put on our clean new set of strings. On the back of them, it will tell you the order and the color associated with it. 6th string is your thickest string, and when you hold the guitar, the thickest string is the one closest to my chin. So for me, in this set, it is the brass-headed string of these two. Another thing that is important is the direction you wind these up. Let me just show you. Take the end of your string, not the one with the little ball on it, it's just a bare string. I'm going to start at that top one again, that's the one that's closest to my face. In that little tiny hole, you might have a bridge where it's kind of flat in front, you put it this way and it stops it. But you'll pull it as much as you can, and that little ball that was on the end of it, that brass colored thing, will stop it from being pulled further. So you've got that pulled all the way through, all the way tight. You can measure the length of string you're going to need. Take your first string, measure to the peg you want, since I wanted this first one, and then go maybe an inch, inch and a half past, so about there for me. You can also think of it as like halfway between the next two pegs, but I'll cut it there. Doesn't really matter, it's just going to be how many times you can wrap the string around the peg as you tune it. As long as you get one or two good times around the peg, you're in the clear. Kind of hard to see, so I drew up this little diagram. That E string is the one I'm doing now, the thickest string. It wraps counterclockwise around the peg. Counterclockwise. They will all go the same direction because all of my pegs are on the same side of the head of the guitar. Just goes straight down into it, which is a bit odd. It's a vintage spec. And then I've pushed it around once, pinch it down here, and then begin to tighten this. You'll know because it will tug it in the same direction you've wound it up. If you've gone the other way, when you rotate the peg, it'll loosen instead of tighten. Move on to the next string. I'm going to go ahead and make a cut because this will take a few minutes. Just rotating these until my strings are tight enough. Okay. Now we have brand new strings on there. It's looking pretty, but it is not sounding pretty. So next we got to tune. Put my tuner on camera for a second. This little device right here. I'm going to be tuning this up to what corresponds with each string there. So E, A, D, G, B, small e. You don't need to have a dedicated tuner like I have it. I just have it because I've been playing music for years. Now you have a fresh, clean, ready to play guitar. So you can spend about a week on that, you know, picking up a new hobby. Then you can give it up, put it back in the closet, and let it rot again. Thanks.